All right. So, first episode, True Quieter, the podcast.
Yeah, let's get this going.
I guess we should introduce ourselves to everyone and let them get familiar with us a little bit, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. You go first.
My name is Armando Verdugo. I'm I don't know what I do. I don't really have a job. I do stuff for people and occasionally get paid, and that's about it. So, BAM Strategic is my digital marketing company, and I work primarily in the off-road and vehicle specific industries.
And I am Gabe Mercado. Um, and I do have a job, unlike Armando. So I don't know if I want to say what field I'm in, but I'm in insurance. I do stuff in insurance. It's not shady or anything, so I guess we're good there. Um, and I guess we should tell people how we met, right?
Yeah,
Um,
so it's been a few years. I think we've known each other for 8 9 years.
Something like that. Yeah,
Um,
I think we
Most likely,
think we first met in Moab, right?
yeah. One of the first um, not Carl. I'm thinking the wrong freaking thing. So one of the first Mob Moab type adventures where you guys were recording with Crawl 5280.
Yeah, yeah. As people don't know, I do videography in off road and everything else, but mostly off road. So back in the day, Crawl 5280 company that I ran with some other guys, we would go out to Moab at different off road events and film. We would create content for other companies. We would create content for ourselves, and we had fun doing it. Still have fun doing it, and it opened some doors for us to meet a lot of people. And for me, that's how I met Armando. We were, I think, on Pritchett Canyon when we first met, if I remember correctly. It might have been Pritchett Canyon. No, what is it?
Possibly.
Because you didn't roll Pritchett Canyon until like 3 years ago.
Yeah. No, I did pitch it 3 years ago the first time because I always had the baby Jeep,
Yeah, so I don't
and
remember the trail
then
that. Oh no! Oh, I remember what it
oh, it's
was.
probably Patriot Crawl.
Patriot Crawl. Yep, it was Patriot
It
Crawl.
was Patriot Crawl.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, no, it had to be Patriot Crawl. Yeah, because I didn't do Pritchett until I actually got a bigger Jeep.
yeah. And I think at that time you were just using the Artec Jeep, right?
No, I was actually renting a Jeep from Nita Barlow
Ah,
every year. So I would work this partnership because we had one Jeep and 8 drivers. So I made a way for me to drive out there instead of just being a passenger, and worked out a deal with Nina, and we put a bunch of parts on a new Jeep that she had, white JL. Wow, I don't remember. It was a white JK.
hmm.
Yeah, Aria was the Jeep's name,
Yep, I remember
and
that.
I used it for the week, and then she took it and put it into her rental fleet, and people went out and asked about all the parts and bought parts based upon that deal, and that was my rental for EJS and a couple other events throughout the years.
Yeah, those are some fun times back then.
Oh yeah, always fun times.
Yeah, I
I
think it was
can't
a
I
little.
can't say we've ever had a bad time.
That's true. Yeah, I can't think of any. Yeah, that's true. But it's changed a little bit, don't you think? Moab back then was seemed like it was filled with more of people that had the purest in them instead of people that are more into the scene or want to be seen with ducks in their windshield. You know what I mean? It seems like it's
Oh,
changed a little bit.
it's changed considerably. We done EJS for I don't know how many years, and over the last couple of years, it's just been a little off. Even this year, I didn't have to go do the show. I went and did Patriot Crawl, and then did the Mob Moab party and the first day of wheeling, and then halfway through the Mob Moab party or the EGS experience. I'm confusing my events here. Halfway through the EGS experience party up at Zach's, I was like, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm starting to drive home, and I drove about 2 hours into Monticello and spent the night. Got up early and drove home. I was just done. I didn't want to deal with the show. Didn't want to deal with any more of it. It was time for me to go. And funny enough, after that, JP's like, we're just not going to do EGS anymore. Let's just do Bob Moab again.
Hmm.
And just that just changes my outlook on what Moab's going to look like next year.
Yeah.
Getting away from the organized trails and all the people that are out there, and have a small group of people that are really enthusiasts and go out and play with people that want to be there and people that really want to go the trails and do the trails and enjoy the scenery that you get up there.
Hmm. Yeah. What was the first year of Mob Moab? Was it 2018?
It was the first COVID year.
So 19.
So
No,
night I
no. The first one was 19. The second one was COVID because we couldn't go during EGS. Oh no, maybe you're right.
yeah,
We did Mob Moab because we couldn't go to EGS that year.
because we couldn't go to EGS was canceled, so
Yeah.
we just made a trip. We all the companies that were involved with that still wanted to do our yearly media and go out and do some testing on products, and um, got shut out of EJS. So we just got a condo out there and a couple condos, and a bunch of people went out there, and I believe we had about, I think it was about 30 people that we knew that were out there,
Hmm.
and they all wanted a wheel.
Hmm.
We were in the condo. I think it was like 15 of us in that condo. We shoved people under the stairs. There was pull out beds, air mattresses everywhere in that house. Casey and the crew were next door. There was another condo around the corner that there was a bunch of people in. So it was a great time. We got out and got up early, went on a trail, and we're back by like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Went and hung out in the pool.
Yeah. It was nice. And the best part about it is it's in May. So it's not like early March where it's going to be snowy or cold. In May, it's really warm and nice. So
Yeah, and not too warm. I've been to Moab in July, and Moab in July
it sucks
is
there.
it's hot. It's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. I would not want to go back in dead summer. Uh,
Yeah.
Last time I was there, dead summer, was last year actually, and it was not a record-breaking heat. But the 2 years before that, I went with Crawl America, and they had record-breaking heat, and
Mhm.
it was brutal. It was just I wanted to tap out.
Yeah, especially when you're lugging camera gear and stuff up and down mountains and not in an AC Jeep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's nice to have those AC Jeeps, but you can't really do the trails, the nice fun trails, in those kind of nice AC Jeeps. I mean, you
Oh, sure
can,
you can.
but you'll
Oh, sure you
beat
can.
beat the shit out of it. But
Oh, just take the top off and hit that AC. It's still comfortable. Trust me, I know.
so one thing that people don't realize is aside from that we have known each other for about 8 years, we didn't meet until 8 years ago. But before that, we lived 10 miles apart from each other growing up. Something like 10 miles, maybe
Yeah,
15 miles at the most.
yeah. Just all both in the San Gabriel Valley. Uh, Passed probably across a number of times. Just didn't know each other.
Yeah,
We hung out in the same stomping grounds. We have this unity of great places that we miss from the old days that we can
yeah.
always talk about, and it creates a fun time. And it's always like I know I can always go, dude, let's go to Tommy's, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
and just I get you that I want to go. There's just those places that we grew up on, and just like it's just so great that we had that stuff to share, and it's pretty fun.
yeah.
Think about it.
And the crazy part is your wife and I went to the same high school, but 4 years apart.
Yeah, she's a 92. She graduated in 92.
Yeah, and I would have been 96.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And funny thing is, we went to that party I was telling you about
Mm-hmm.
to an old teacher from Pioneer High School. He lives out here in Arizona
Mm.
now, and it was his 60th birthday. And her Kim's one of Kim's best friends flew out for the weekend and went over there and I got to meet him and it's funny they're like he was such an old man when we were growing up and it's just like the perception of what the teacher is. I'm like he's like 5 years older than me. What the hell?
It's so weird that's kind of like the retirement place for Southern California people is Arizona.
Well, it's just the place to get away where you can still be close to your family that wants to stay in California and get away from the California BS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. My dad wants to get as far away from California as he can, but my grandfather's still alive and kicking, and he doesn't want to move,
Yeah,
understandably.
it's hard. It's hard. I mean, you have to make that assumption. You guys were in Denver for how long?
Man, I moved to Denver in 2000, around 2000, and I moved out of Denver 2020. So 20
Yeah,
years.
20 years. And think of like all the relationships, all the people, and you didn't have family there, but you already moved away from your family in Southern Cal
Mm-hmm.
years ago. But imagine that move. It just makes it some people that are real close to family. It makes it harder. For me, I was back and forth, and now it's just we go back when we can and we figure out what we need to do.
I think I'm one of those people that are broken in that sense that I don't mind being away from my family for that long.
Well, I don't either. It's just it's changed. Some things here and there have changed, and it's just the difference with kids growing up and family stuff that we have to deal with, and it just creates time that you have to be on your own and doing your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of lose that. Well, I got to go do this all the time. It's like, well, our family wants to go do this on this holiday now.
Mm-hmm. I think if I had kids, it might be different because they would want to see their grandparents, or my parents would want to see their grandkids all the time. So
Hmm.
without having any offspring, I think it's a little different mentality that I don't have to have meet that expectation from my parents, and it's just easier.
Yeah, yeah, definitely can see that.
I mean, I do miss them, but it's come to the point where we have great conversations on the phone, and then when we see each other, it's like we have maybe 3 hours of great time, and then fourth hour, it's like, okay, now you're getting on my nerves.
Yeah, the distance is definitely appreciated at that point.
Yeah, and it's nothing against them or anything. It's just I think there's a generation gap, and then with like for my example with my mother, she's pretty liberal, and I'm not. So there's a imbalance of bless you. There's an imbalance
Excuse me.
of culture. I like to shoot guns. She is terrified of guns. So there's a lot of things where I like to talk about hunting, and she doesn't really grasp that because she it's just so foreign to her. But I can talk about that stuff with my dad for hours and hours and hours. It's just we have to pick and choose what topics we talk we discuss.
Yeah, and that's that definitely that's a sticky point around here. Same thing. I'm very far one way, and they're very far the other way, and there's a big ocean in the middle, and it's or a big desert in the middle, as it may be,
Yeah,
and
that
we
beautiful
just kind of
desert.
do do what we need to do, and we see each other, and we have family time, and again, I like you said, I appreciate them and miss them and all that, but it's just I, separation is good.
Yeah, I've got almost 4,000 miles between them. You've got about 800.
370, 378.
If I could separate myself a little bit further, I might.
Well, I keep trying to move this to Nashville, but it's not happening. My youngest is just finished her junior years of high school and starting her senior year. So until she's flown the nest, I'm kind of still stuck in Arizona.
Does she have any college plans, or she once she's 18, that's it? She's just gonna go do her own thing.
No, she's just finished doing a bunch of all her ACTs and number of testing uh, for her college stuff. And then I think after her summer this year, she'll start really getting on it, or during summer, probably really getting on it. So I think there's a couple prospects that she likes. Um, I keep trying to push her on Tennessee, but we'll see where that goes. She was high on Vanderbilt for a bit, but I think she's kind of changing her major to be more of a chemistry, chemical engineering,
Hmm.
and I'm not really sure what Vanderbilt does on that side, but I know Tennessee does, so I don't know. We'll see.
So I happen to know someone that got into chemical engineering, and I guess there's two sides of it, and one is the actual like a testing and development, and the other is the engineering part of it that's similar to the testing and development. They make really good money.
Yeah, there's money to be had there,
They
and
make a really
she's
good
really
money,
good with the sciences and the math, so I'm gonna keep letting her do what she's gonna do and see where she ends.
especially if she can get into like a pharmaceutical. I mean, it's the pharmaceutical commercials are taking over TV. You
That's all
can't
it is on TV.
you can't watch a TV show without at least one or two pharmaceutical commercials. It's ridiculous.
It's like every commercial. It's pharmaceutical commercials, and I don't even see a beer commercial anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, I also only watch limited TV, and trying to think of like what else do I see? I don't think I ever see anything else of the pharmaceutical commercials.
Yeah, car commercials and lawyer commercials. Those are the
But
three that I see
yeah,
the most.
yeah, Carvana. Yeah, we'll sell us your car.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I see. Yeah, exactly right.
So funny enough,
So
I contacted Carvana because I was trying to sell one of my old ones, and it was they undervalued it like crazy, like $5,000 undervalue. I was like, no, because all they're going to do is resell it for exactly what I wanted to sell it for.
yeah,
So I don't know how anyone would ever use that service, just unless they're super desperate.
and it really depends on the vehicle too. They completely underbid my old Silverado, but they overbid. I just stole my daughter's Veloster, and they overbid on it. It's just like it's the demand of cars that they really want, that they'll overpay for, that they know they can resell, and all the other ones just underbid.
Mm,
So
bastards.
it's definitely weird.
It's just like the old car. We just traded in a Volkswagen Arteon, and they gave us a pretty decent trade-in value on it. And out of curiosity, I went a couple of days later on their website to see what they were selling it for, and of course, 3,000 over what we got it for in our trade-in.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, they got to make money.
Yeah.
Those walls don't pay for themselves.
No. Some dealerships though, they don't seem to be in that market of making their money that way, whereas some are more into the turnover. You know, the more cars they can get out at the cheaper rate, the volume increases their revenue instead of
Hmm.
having a less quantity of cars being sold for more. It just in my eyes, it makes sense to be that dealership that sells more cars for cheaper. but I'm not in the
Yeah,
dealership game, so who knows?
yeah, I would think it. I mean, that's a big detractor when you're going to buy a new car is when they go, well, your car's worth 6 grand less than you think it is,
Hmm.
and you're like, well, that doesn't really roll into my plan. You're thinking a number here, and then they're coming down here, and then you're like, well, the math isn't going to fit here somewhere, so I'm out, and you walk out the door.
Yeah,
Been there, done that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just this last time too, I could tell the guy was thinking already. Oh, this guy's got shitty credit. Let's just do whatever we can. And he comes back. Oh wow, your credit score's really good. I'm like, no shit.
uh,
Like, why are you so
yeah.
surprised? My credit score is really good. It's supposed to be really
uh,
good.
yeah. Let's see. Hmm, maybe 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, do you see recently? There's a meme going around of this interracial couple, and they're leaning up against a Scat Pack Challenger, and it's this really ugly white girl and this ghetto ass looking black guy hugged up next to her, and the comments are great. Like, oh, he's ruining her credit. He's already texting her, asking her for gas money.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I'll
Yeah,
have to look for it now.
I'll have to look for it and send it to you. It's the comment section is golden.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The internet always wins.
Internet always wins,
Yep,
and it's always right.
it is. Yeah. So I guess we should tell people that we're gonna be doing this podcast regularly. Um, Hopefully, we put out a podcast at least more than once a month.
Well, we should.
Yeah,
We
we
should.
should. We should.
It
It
should. It should be easy for us to sit here and talk for 2 hours about some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. And today is just an introduction. People get their feet wet, see what we're about, get familiar with our voices and that sort of thing. Our topics are going to range from anywhere from politics to social media stuff that's going on to anything really. I mean, there's really no holes barred. I think,
No, no. It's unfiltered and free and open.
yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. I don't want to pigeonhole ourselves, and just because we come from off road, I don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into off road topics only. I mean, there's
No,
way more things to discuss.
exactly. 100% that there's all of that we're gonna do. That doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about it,
Right.
or there's not going to be cool stuff we're going to talk about. But yeah, definitely open it up to kind of everything.
Yeah. I mean, for example, some of our friends just started a new company, um, Savvy Design. Um, buddy of yours, buddy of ours, Will. He's involved. Jake Glazer and our good old friend uh, Gerald Lee.
Yeah, it's been I've been helping a little bit with the behind the scenes stuff with them, and part of the BAM strategic will be doing a little bit more with the savvy on that side too. So I'm fortunate enough to be trusted with a few companies like this to kind of brand them and bring them into the digital age.
And that's cool because Savvy Off Road is a legendary name. I mean, it goes back for a long time, and even in Ultra 4. So to see that name come out again, rejuvenated, I think is going to be exciting.
I'm completely excited. I've known Gerald for a very long time, and growing up in Southern Cal, Savvy was one of the main names that I knew of. I wasn't really into the Jeeps back then. I had a Toyota when I first came up, and a few other vehicles. And then when I first left the corporate world and came into the Jeep side, my first EJS, Gerald was there with Nicole Johnson in the Savvy booth at EJS, and he came up to me like we were old friends, and we've talked and always have talked, and Gerald's always been a great friend. Um, Funny, the last few trips, Gerald gets tired driving,
Yeah.
and he's like, someone else drive. So one time he like sent Travis to drive his TJ Travis Goldstein from Rockcrawler. He sent him to drive his LJ, and he jumped in the Gladiator with me, and he's called AC, and he sat back and napped, and we had a good time. And then EGS this year, we're in the red Rockcrawler Bronco, and he got tired. He's like, "Okay, you're driving now," and I drove the rest of the way out. So I become the secondary driver on trails for Gerald lately. But it's been fun. It's been a good friend and awesome, funny, freaking guy.
So I'll tell you really quick, my favorite Gerald Lee moment. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. We're coming off Pritchett Canyon, and he was in his green. Um, I think at the time it was green, the LJ,
The
and
LJ, Green
yeah,
LJ.
and Johnny Rocha was right next to him. We had stopped. We're waiting for someone at that Y coming off to make sure that they took the right uh,
Hmm.
trail out. As soon as they caught up, Johnny looked at Gerald, and they somehow knew right away they were going to race each other out of there. I'm sitting passenger with Gerald, and they raced each other out of there. And they're probably doing at least 60 miles an hour. And those whoops out there were just so deep that year. It was insane. I wasn't sure we were going to make it to the pavement without flipping over. But but Gerald can drive like a madman.
Oh
He
yeah,
can,
yeah. When it's race time, it's go time for Gerald.
yeah. And I tried to film it, but I mean, holding a camera with that many whoops and rocks and everything was just impossible. But
Yeah, yeah,
but that was a really great time.
yeah, yeah. All those trips to Pritchett and trails and everything has been fun. It's I love the fact that I can think of every day that I stopped working for corporate America and decided to play in the dirt and look back and just smile.
That's what I need to do. I need to get out of this corporate job and just do something on my own. But 401k, man.
That's the hard part. Is 401k and medical benefits
Yeah.
tend to lock a lot of people in. Luckily for me, my wife works for this the county now. She worked for Long Beach State, so we had California State retirement and California State benefits.
Mm,
Then in Arizona, she worked for the college here and now works for the county. So benefits still are great. So it makes it easier for me to be flexible, and it was a big thing for us to or for me to make the change and have that security.
yeah. Before my other job, I had a pension, and I didn't want to leave it because of the pension. I eventually was laid off, and they bought me out. But yeah, I mean, if they didn't, I would still be there just because of the pension. The job sucked.
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated my boss. But again, they matched my 401k up to 5%, 100% up to 5%. They matched my pension, anything that was contributed, 100%. So it was a really good gig. I just hated the environment.
And that'll ruin you.
Yeah, it made me bitter. I think it does. I think it does that to a lot of people.
It does, and at a poor work environment will do that. Doesn't matter if it's corporate or whatever. If you're not happy there and you're not being treated the way that you feel you want to be, then it kind of sucks. It actually really sucks.
Yeah,
Not kinda, just does.
yeah. And now I work from home, and if I have a little bit of downtime, I can go in the garage and tool around a little bit, or mow the lawn if I need to, do laundry. It's awesome. My wife works from home, so we can have breakfast together, lunch together. It's just a
Yeah,
way better environment.
the flexibility of working from home. The funny thing is, I've worked from home for the past 20 some years, 25 years about. And in between there, I did take a job where I had to be in the office, and it was probably the worst couple years of my life. Going to an office and actually having to work in the same walls and not having the flexibility. And funny thing is that if I go to a job, I get there at 8 and I leave at 5.
Mm-hmm.
If I work from home, I'm starting at 5 and I'll stop when I want to stop.
Yeah.
9, 10, 11 o'clock all night, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I just continue to work, but make me go to the office and I'm going to give you what you asked for.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I tend to do a little bit more working from home. Like I won't. I mean, I'll log on maybe a hour early just to see what's going on with my email and that sort of thing, and maybe stay on an extra 20 minutes afterwards just to finish some things up. And if
mhm.
you're right, if you're in the office, you're constantly looking at the clock. I need to get the hell out of here. And you're
Yeah,
less.
because I mean, you're still going to have a 15, 20 minute or longer drive home.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, well, I'm giving that for the office. So then, you know what? Then working home, you're going to get my commute time plus whatever extra time because I don't have to prepare as much. I don't have to do as much. I don't have to pack a lunch if I'm a lunch packer.
Right.
So basically, I stop at lunch and I go run to the fridge, grab what I need to do, and I'm back in my chair.
Yep.
And some days I don't even take a lunch. I just work straight through, and I've started early and work later, and then no lunch. So you're bonus there.
Yeah. Yep. Man, I just need to hit the lottery and just be
Oh,
done with it all.
funny you said that. I just got a $239 million freaking Powerball.
Well, if you win it, we're gonna build a Joe Rogan type studio and do the next podcast from there.
Downtown Nashville,
Yeah, there you go. On the roof somewhere.
on the roof somewhere. We just rent the stadium every week in the hockey stadium on the ice.
I've only been to 2 hockey games in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh,
And the first one, this is how long ago it was. It was the LA Kings versus the USSR.
oh,
Kelly Rudy was the goalie. Wayne Gretzky was still on the team. And then my second hockey game was probably 3 years after that. I think it was the first year the Ducks came into the league.
no, I the Honda. There used to be the Honda Center
No,
back
it
then.
was the pond. They called it the
It was a
pond.
pond, yeah, or it was Arrowhead. It was an Arrowhead Pond back
There you
then,
go. Yep. Yep.
and then it turned to the Honda Center. That's right. Yeah, it was an Arrowhead Pond.
Only
That's right.
only 2 games I've ever been to, and I don't know why. I I can't really watch hockey for some reason. To me, it's not as exciting as people claim it is, and I don't get it. I'd
uh,
rather wa- I'd,
it,
ra- I'd rather watch soccer.
oh, see, no. See, I'd rather hockey. Hockey is probably the only team sport that I would watch. Not that I watch it, but I'll sit in a bar if I'm sitting in a bar or restaurant. Something it's on. I'll pay attention to hockey. Anything else, and yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I understand the rules and everything. I just can't. I just can't find it enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, and I don't think I really liked it until I learned how to follow the puck, how to watch lines, how to understand when line changes were happening, who's coming in, who's going out, and what to expect. I think some of that is the strategy.
Hmm.
Probably one of the reasons why I really liked professional baseball.
Hmm.
It's not a ton of action, but there's so much that's there in strategy and planning that becomes fun.
Yeah,
But
baseball is my favorite sport. I used to play little league. I played in high school. I played a little bit out of high school in adult leagues, semi-pro. So To me, baseball is the most pure sport there is. I know a lot of people disagree, but I think it's still the only sport that hasn't evolved to the point where the evolution has ruined the game. For example, in football, they've altered the rules so much where in my opinion it's ruined the game. You
Yeah.
can't hit below the waist. You can't hit the quarterback in the back. You can't hit the quarterback in the head. You can't do this. You can't do that anymore.
Uh, yeah. Well, now there's this new rule that kickoff if fair catch or something, it's at the 25 now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're like, yeah, there's too many concussions, but I think it was a quote of Andy Reid saying, "Well, we might as well just play flag now.
Yeah,
Just stop playing tackle. Just play flag football professionally."
yeah, seriously. And I said it about 3 years ago. I think the game of football as we know it is no longer going to exist in 20 years.
No, no,
They're gonna
it
keep
barely
stripping
exists
it.
now.
Yeah, they're gonna keep stripping it, and next thing you know, they're not gonna be able to hit at a certain level. They're gonna only have a certain box to hit some people in. They're gonna eventually take away helmets because of the concussions. They're not gonna develop a better helmet because they've already developed a better helmet. It's just gonna
They-
be it's gonna be
well,
bad.
the foam, it's just going to be like this, a giant freaking foam piece on the top of a head, on top of the shell of the helmet. It's a giant foam thing. So if you get a helmet, you're taking just foam. Yeah, okay.
Well, I think there is some logic to it where if you had a less safe helmet, you're less likely to use your head and cause an impact using your head, leading with your head, and
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. So you just put a big styrofoam around it now.
Yeah, there are tackle football leagues that don't use pads right now, and those are crazy to watch. You can YouTube them.
It's like rugby.
It pretty much is, yeah. Except I still don't understand rugby.
I don't know one single rule with rugby. I watch them like those guys just beat each other up.
We'll have to ask Chris Meehan about the rules of rugby. If an Aussie doesn't understand
uh,
rugby, then he's probably not an Aussie. It's probably the New Zealander. He's a Kiwi.
the Kiwis. Uh,
That guy's a chip. I still can't believe he doesn't eat tacos or doesn't eat Mexican or like Mexican food.
he doesn't eat mac and cheese. How un-American is
What?
that? Oh yeah, he doesn't eat mac and cheese.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I guess I should shut up because I don't eat pizza.
Okay, that's weird.
I'll eat it if it's the only thing there and I'm starving, but if there's something else, I'll eat it. I won't ever say, "Hey, let's go get pizza." That'll never happen.
As a kid, I loved pizza, and these days, I if it's there like you, I'll eat it, but it's not my first choice.
No, I haven't for a long time. When I was probably late 20s, I had roommates that would order pizza 2, 3 times a day, every day. It was just like, all right, pizza fun, pizza fun, pizza fun. And that's all it was. It was just pizza, pizza, pizza. And I was just like done with pizza after I left that house. It's like, I don't want to eat pizza. So occasionally, like if we go to New York City, I have to have a good New York pizza. Chicago pizza's trash. Lou
Yeah,
Malnati's freaking deep dish. Nah, that's trash.
it's crap.
It's freaking spaghetti. It's like spaghetti in a pizza pan.
It really is.
That's all it is. It's just throw it in the trash.
There's so much grease
But
too.
yeah, a nice super thin wood fired oven margarita pizza is the best.
So I'll probably get a lot of shit for saying this, but my top three pizzas is the mountain pie from Bojo's out of Colorado. It's it's it's
Never
a,
had it.
it's a cross between a Chicago style and a deep dish and a traditional. It's really bizarre, and you eat the crust with honey. It sounds gross, but there's a sweetness to it with the saltiness factor with the crust. I can't explain it. It works.
Okay. All right. That's number three.
I would say
Our top.
I would say that's three. Yeah. Um, the best pizza I think I've ever had was in Vegas. It was at the New York. Can't remember the
At New
name of
York,
it.
New York.
Yeah, it's not a Sabaros or anything, but it's a chain. It's a
It's in there.
yeah. It might not be in there anymore. This was probably 15 years ago. I haven't been to Vegas since
Okay.
for 15 years. Actually, I take that back. I had to go there for one night because I had to fly out of there, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I was too tired to even go to In and Out.
Yeah. Well, I guess always living in a place where it's available, it's just like meh to me.
Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be
I guess
getting an In and Out out here.
yeah, and there's one coming in Nashville. They're actually uh, building a new uh, East headquarters for In and Out in Nashville.
Really?
Yeah,
Because I think they're using the Texas location distribution right now for what they're going to be calling the Southeast Territory, which is going to be Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee.
yeah, and I heard that they were going to be building all of their facility in or around Nashville for East Coast.
I would work for In and Out. They pay well.
Would it be a bad gig?
No, I mean my cousin worked at In and Out during his time at Stanford, and he ended up being a manager, and it paid so well that it pretty much paid for his Stanford education.
Yeah, they do it right. They push you, but they pay you to perform.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's a standard that they have, and it shows in their food. It's all fresh. Um, the customer service is exceptional every time I've been there. So
Hmm.
it's not like a it's not like a McDonald's or Waffle House. That's for damn sure.
Hey, that's wrong with the Waffle House at 3 in the morning.
Where do I start?
3 in the morning. You start it in at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, just make sure your cameras rolling the entire time. Over there.
uh, what would trying to think of the Waffle House. Which one? So Clanton and I drove to Smoky Mountain one year, and the first stop we ate at was Waffle House. And I don't know what prompted me to think that Waffle House was a smart idea to start a road trip, but I believe it was Tucson. We pulled into Waffle House and had breakfast. Uh, I think it was Tucson. Yeah, it was a terrible idea.
How long did you drive until you had to pull over?
I probably had to go to the bathroom before I even left the facility.
I had that experience with the Fuddruckers.
Ooh,
Remember
that's a
Fuddruckers?
we have one still here in
Really?
Mesa. Yeah, we've just gone there less than a year ago. We went there, and it's on this backside of this old mall that it looks like it's closed down, but it's open.
Yeah, I made the mistake of going stoned. Okay, so I get there, I'm
Hmm.
stoned, and my my mind is like, okay, I'm going to get the 1 pound burger. I'm going to get this and that. So I get the 1 pound burger. I get nacho cheese. I get bacon. I get Gouda. I get all kinds of different cheeses on it. Um, I finish it, and I think we're probably 30 steps outside the door when we leave, and I'm like, oh, we gotta go. Yeah, and it was not fun clamping my butt cheeks together walking upstairs.
Oh, see, I just run back in.
Destroy their bathroom. They're used
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. You gave it to me. You get it back.
Oh, that's a double whammy.
Exactly. You get it.
But did you ever use the toilet at Tommy's?
Um, in Pico, maybe
It's a phone booth.
once.
It it's
That,
outside. Like in there,
yeah,
and if you
that.
take too long, people are outside, and there's a line, and the people just look
Oh
at
yeah,
you.
just pounding at you, just pounding the door.
Yeah, and it's hot.
Yeah. Yep.
That is the worst bathroom to use ever.
It's the worst restaurant to use, really. The whole idea of that is just terrible. I love it, but it's just terrible. I
So
think
for
about it, I'm going, what made me freaking decide that this was a good idea?
so for those that don't know, Tommy Burgers is a small, privately owned restaurant chain in Southern California. Um, they make primarily hot dogs and hamburgers with chili burgers and chili dogs. Um, Pretty much it.
Greasy, messy, chili,
Yeah, and that is pretty much it. I don't even
and
think
it
they
goes
make
on the
shakes.
and the French fries.
Yeah,
It goes in the French fries too.
yep. And if your stomach can handle it, good for you. It's very good. It's very greasy. It'll hit the spot. It'll stick to your ribs, and if it doesn't stick to your ribs, look out. It's gonna slide
It,
out like ugh. It's a muddy
it was
mess.
that was my late teens, early 20s. That's how you sobered up to go home.
Yeah, yeah. And the taco trucks, 4
Or
tacos
King
of
Taco.
King Taco. Yeah, there was certain tacos you had to get. If you were drinking beer all night, you probably got cabeza. Um, and if you're drinking tequila or something else, you probably got barbacoa. Just for whatever reason, those things suck it up that liquid a little bit better.
I don't know. Never been a cabeza eater.
Uh, I, I have to be in the mood for it.
Mm. I don't think I've ever been in the mood for it.
Really, it's pretty good. You just don't look at it as you're eating cow brains.
Yeah, I can't turn that off.
What about tongue?
No,
No, that's good stuff too.
I can eat some weird stuff, but tongue and brains just I'm out.
It doesn't even look like it looks just like regular meat when it's in your taco.
I know that, but it's just one of those things. Mentally, I can't do it.
I understand what you're saying. It's like those chili candy suckers. I don't know what they're called. It's like corn with a chili coating on the outside. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I can't do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
can't do that.
I can't eat those.
And I don't know what it is. I can eat. I'll eat menudo all day. Tripe. I'll eat buche. Um, I mean anything. Intestines of anything I'll eat, but just mentally, brains and tongue just get me.
Yeah, I'm not having a problem there. But mole, I cannot eat mole. I'll never
Really?
eat it. Yeah, it's just way too bitter.
Huh.
And my grandmother used to make it all the time and be pissed off at me that I would not eat it. You know how
See,
Mexican grandmothers are.
and eat. You're gonna eat. It's like an
Yeah.
Italian grandmother. You gotta
Hmm.
eat.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's just a grandmother thing, I think.
Probably.
But no, I guess one of those things. I mean, it's definitely a weird mixture of spices that make that sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, you get bitter chocolate, you get peanut butter, a bunch of chilies. So yeah, it can be one of those oddballs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like if it even touches my rice, I won't eat the rice.
All right, my kid's kind of like that.
I like her already.
I get her a plate that has the compartments like the old army friggin' trays or
Oh
old
yeah.
school lunch trays.
Cafeteria
And
trays.
each one goes in this little spot so they don't touch, because nothing can touch.
Man, you know what here's an idea. This is $1 million idea. You make cafeteria school pizza, but for adults.
It's called Little Caesars. What are you talking about? How do you make it?
That is not the same. I'm talking about like the chewy. Okay, maybe it is the same because the dough is chewy.
Exactly the same. Come on, it's exactly the same.
uh,
It's Lunch Lady Linda's back behind the freaking thing with her hairnet on.
Man, those pizzas were awesome. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the nostalgia or maybe they really were good or we were just that young and stupid that we thought it was great.
No, it's the fact that everything else was so bad that crappy pizza fucking great.
What was that machine? They had huge vats, like huge mixers, and they would put stuff in it, and it always smelled the same. It would taste different, but always smelled the same. Don't understand it.
A huge mixer?
Yeah, that's just like a humongous vat machine, and I don't know what was in it, but whatever they cooked in it, it was always different, but it always smelled the same.
I don't think I went to that school.
You're that's a good thing, yeah. I wonder if Kim went to my elementary school too.
I don't think so because she moved from San Diego when she was like 10 or 11.
Mm.
When she moved from San Diego to her grandparents' house.
So she might have went for a year or two and then went to Los
Yeah, I'm
Nietos.
trying to think of maybe she was already in high school when she moved over there. But now I gotta remember this, and I'm like sitting here drawing a blank, going, "Fuck, I'm gonna get in trouble later." You hear this and go, "You don't remember?" Fuck. Okay, I don't remember.
There's a lot of things my wife
Sorry.
tells me that I don't remember.
I remember a lot of shit, but that's something I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember that specifically. Do not remember that right now.
For the longest time, I didn't remember my wife's middle name, and then it was the dumbest thing because it's the same name as my mom's first name. So she was like, "You're fucking stupid. How could you not remember?" It's like I don't know. Maybe I just don't care. I don't know. Could be
Yeah,
a number of reasons.
that's a blockage, mental blockage. I don't want to associate that name with you, honey. Sorry.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. It's the last thing I want is accidentally say her name while something's going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's no,
Yeah,
separates our church and state.
yeah. Then I'll have to go into counseling, and that'll be expensive.
$80,000 later.
If I was to be a psychologist, it would be in New York. I hear people in New York it's like the psychologist capital of the world. That there's so many people there that subscribe to that therapy. It's insane.
Have their weekly therapy sessions.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to say anything because I could probably use some.
Probably all could.
Yeah, so I'm not going to
I
say anything.
I have some demons that I fight. That's for damn sure.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of demons in there. I'm fucked up in the head.
I mean, but if we weren't fucked up in the head, would we be who we are today?
No, no, no. I'd be an accountant or something somewhere, counting beans.
Yeah, I could probably be. I don't know what I would be. Maybe I'd be a welder.
No, you have to be fucked up in the head to be a welder.
After hearing some of these stories that these welders go through when they're either in the pipeline or are doing these huge manufacturing jobs, I understand why they get paid so much now.
Oh yeah, but you'd be mentally fucked up though.
Yeah, yeah. Especially the ones that go underwater.
Well, you're making $300 an hour, but you're mentally fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Alex Benai.
There's a few.
Yeah, more than a few. Well, we should probably wrap this up. This is probably a good introduction for everyone. Get their feet wet with who we are, what we're going to be talking about. I think we've covered a few different things, and they can make up their minds if they're going to listen to the next episode or not.
Yeah, probably.
And then they're
Probably not.
probably right now, like, oh, fuck these guys.
Maybe they haven't gotten this far yet.
Yeah, probably didn't even get this far. They're like,
You checked out already.
who are these guys again? Oh, never mind.
Fuck. Fucking two brown guys.
Anyways, folks, this is the Chew Quieter podcast with Armando and Gabe. We'll be doing this again soon, and the next one will more than likely be longer. There's really no set time limit for podcasts, so we'll play it by ear.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening, and we'll try to have some sort of agenda next time.
Yeah, this is just an introduction, so it was a hodgepodge of shit.
Yeah, just throw it all out there.
Yeah, whatever sticks to the wall sticks.
Exactly.
All right, folks, you take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Thank you.